Yep.
Welcome to the Fourcast, where we review movies, documentaries, films like you've never seen before, a completely different way, four different perspectives. We are glad to come to you guys tonight. We are live right now on Facebook, Roku, TV, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you watch podcasts, that's where we are. So make sure before you go to bed tonight, if you have a Roku TV or device, download BS TV. Just put it on in your sleep. Let it run. We got programming going all day, every day. Bring a TV to your bring a TV to your job. Put it in your office. Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
But how y'all doing? How you doing, Wilks?
I'm good. Doing all right. But next time, go to somebody else first.
HRap, I don't even know.
It's just because he directly to the right.
Wilks goes first.
Static, man.
He even moved them up.
Look, I have a major announcement. Hold on. I got a major announcement. We worked. I'm back in the office, and we did not talk. We didn't talk about the number 1, 3, or 7 all day. Y'all should be happy. Y'all should be happy. We didn't talk about shots. We didn't talk about black people. We didn't talk about Cleveland. We didn't talk about none of that today. All we did is talk about what?
Allegedly.
Right.
All right. HRap, I'm going to go to you.
Hey, man, I'm recovering from a serious wound, but I'll be okay. Shout out to Raider Cavs. Raiders and Bears won this weekend.
Both, yeah. I seen you post that image, so that's a good sign. Cowboys won too convincingly. Not even look. Even what I was about to say the R word, but the Washington football team.
I just called them the Washington racial slurs.
Yeah.
They fighting each other on the sideline. That's how bad they got whooped. But King Dawk, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, man. Fantastic. Full of energy, full of Mexican food, because we had a Mexican food Christmas.
Nice.
However, I am not full of no damn pecan pie. The pecan pie is 8 minutes from me. And I asked in every kind of way I could.
I'm going to have to make this man a pecan pie. Y'all heard it here first. You heard it here first.
And he got prepared to post with some whipped cream next to it or something like that.
You had a nice drink to it too.
Yeah,
I had some eggnog with the rum and brandy in it and the whiskey, and topped it with some cinnamon and some whipped cream. It was a good night.
Beautiful.
I see.
Beautiful. Let's get to some shout outs here. Charlotte Wilson, thank you for tuning in. First one in the building. Big Illinois, aka Show Enough, aka Just Got Out. Thank you for tuning in.
That's his name.
Oh, wow.
Justin Caraway.
Joint.
Appreciate you for tuning in. That was a Madden score. That was a Madden score on easy.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
And happy birthday, Charlotte. I don't know if her birthday was today.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right, so
best voice on Built for This Network. Hands down. Ain't even close.
Touche.
So tonight we're going to bring you a documentary recommended by HRap. I told my wife this is a HRap recommended documentary, so you may not want to watch it. But hey, this was
a happy one, man. I don't want that rap.
137 shots, and when we get into this, you're gonna be. I'm not gonna say you're gonna be amazed because we've heard this before, but this is so escalated that I don't think I've seen anything like this to this degree. So we gotta dive into this. Rucker Park in the building. I see you right there.
Right.
I see. It was definitely intense. I mean, it had, you went through all different types of emotions. And then it also brought, this is based in Cleveland. So let's give a little bit of backstory. 2012. This was during the time of Tamir Rice. So that you could see that there was already turmoil going on. Also, I want to say this, not every cop is bad. As we get into this and we talk about
Allegedly.
this, not all of them are bad. Because we probably all got family members, or at least one, that has been a cop or is a cop. So we're not about to go there. So much anger and sadness. All right, so initial thoughts.
Somebody need to tell them all black dudes ain't bad. Then hell,
I'm on drugs tonight, so I can do this.
I ain't. I'm stone cold sober.
No, I'm talking about so my back don't hurt.
Yeah, I know backyard I get it, but I don't want nobody to think I'm under the influence of nothing but righteousness. Hell,
Yeah.
Initial thoughts, Dawk.
Shit, I just told you. I mean, man, to be honest, man, like you said, we've heard this before. And to be perfectly honest with you, about midway through, I'm sick of watching this same shit. I'm sick of the fact that they got this content available, and I mean, I really am, man. And at this point, I'm wondering what the F is the point.
Yeah, I hear you. HRap.
What's up, Just Joe?
Just Joe on the
What
building.
Dawk said. What Dawk said.
And
I think the only reason on my show I call this trauma porn.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And traditionally I won't share trauma porn, but I feel it necessary that those sentiments, the quotes, the sound bites, I think you need to hear them all, because we always make excuses. Like Dawk said, hey, all cops ain't bad. And then don't nobody ever say, well, all brothers ain't shooting people. Mm-hmm. All brothers ain't. I used to, and I'm going to shut up. I was on a show about 6 months ago called Collective Perspective. I was a guest. And this dude on the show, a brown-skinned dude, African descendant, said, and I quote, until brothers, he said, brothers need to stop riding around with suspended license, suspended plates, weed in the car, and drinking Hennessy if they want the police to stop.
Man, that's okay, man. See, let me just say this. Yeah, right before this, I was watching Macedonian Missionary Baptist Church, first edition on BS3 Network. And I'm telling you right now, if you're not watching BS3 Network, Sunday mornings, we got some powerhouses back to back. But let me just say this. So I'm going to call on that so I don't say nothing crazy. But I'm telling you right now, I'm speaking from personal experience. I ride clean. I done come from a time where I done rode dirty. And I'm not even talking about that time. I ride clean and done been pulled over by a cop. And when I asked the reason why you pulled me over, he says your license plate light was out. And so, hold on. So I asked, I said, oh, okay, cool. And of course I told him I was a concealed handgun carrier. So I said, for officer safety, I'm a concealed handgun carrier, et cetera, et cetera. Just like most officers, where's your firearm? It's in the behind the passenger seat. Okay, wonderful. Can you step out of the vehicle? Not procedure right there. Okay, fine. I'm going to go ahead and step out of the vehicle. I stepped out of the vehicle. He leans in the vehicle with me standing right behind him. Stupid. When I told his supervising officer what he did, he said, he did what? And I said, yeah, he leaned in the vehicle with me standing outside the car. He goes, if you wanted to take him out, you could have took him out right then. I said, my point exactly. So fine. He run my records, checked me out, saw that I was a veteran, I was clean. I said, do you mind showing me my tail light? I mean, my license plate light that was out? He went back there. Needless to say, it was shining. He says, it was dim. So I just laughed at him. I said, all right, man. Got in the car and pulled out. So my point is, you can be clean as a whistle.
That don't mean nothing.
They got nothing to do. They're going to stop you if they want to stop
you. And a prime example, which I was drawing some comparisons to movie that we reviewed where the dad's the son got shot because he had his phone. What was the name of that film?
American Skin.
American Skin.
Mhm.
This was almost like real life.
Yeah.
American Skin in certain degrees. So I kind of draw that parallel there. But yeah, I mean, you got a really good point. You got a really good point, Dawk. Wilks.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe like how so much denial and just backpedaling and just lies. Like you
That's
still
the word.
convinced.
That's the word. You can keep denial. You can keep backpedaling. It's just straight up lies. They knew what they were doing.
You literally sticking with the fact that it was gunfire. I'm scared for my life. I smell gunpowder immediately. What? You serious right now?
Yeah.
Like,
that's the story you're gonna keep running with?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, when does the police themselves stand up and say, you know what? I can't agree to this.
Yeah.
But they don't.
The radio DJ told him, he goes, if you that damn scared, you need to get another job.
Yeah.
You that damn scared.
Yeah, get a dog.
This comment, I got 2 comments I'm gonna get to. HRap, you must didn't see this one.
He didn't see it.
My man! That's what I'm talking about.
No.
Hey, what kind of world do we live in where Pootie is the palate cleanser?
Right. Really,
man. Right.
I'm a crying your kitty on the running cat.
And then from Charlotte saying this documentary, even though we have seen this story repeatedly with no justice, it's important to bring home the fact that our people are still being unjustly murdered in 2021. This was 2012. So I think it's some of both. Because I'm agreeing with Dawk. I was watching this like, damn, like how many documentaries have to be put together for there to be any amount of change? And then also you like this story though needed to be put out because I had no clue. I had no clue about this. So I think there's some of both. But again, in the middle, it's like, why does there continue to be things documented like this? Stevie Lott, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it was definitely a shame. They'll always feel like they have the right to mess with us because in this documentary, they were saying because the police run everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why, because they have the freedom to do it. And there's no backlash, or there's no them going to jail or them experiencing any of the consequences.
Yeah. And you see what the DA's office, what they stance were. Initially, their stance was pretty hot and heavy, but when it came back around, now all of a sudden they understand what political hit it could take, and they take the opposite approach, Right. So one, they really trying to be hard on the cops. Cops look at them like, oh yeah, okay, let's see what happens re-election time. They back off and still don't get re-elected.
Yeah.
It's all dirty.
Yeah. Pleading the fifth should not be okay, especially in a situation where there was 60 police cars that were involved.
60
police cars
60
involved.
62 somewhere.
63.
And you mean to tell me that y'all all don't know anything? Obviously we know that's a complete lie. Why can't police officers tell the difference between a car backfiring and shots fired? They knew it was reported on over the radio, and they just ignored it, and they just found it like this. We're just gonna go all in on something that's not even real.
Because at that point, if they reported that there was no gun and it was backfire, okay, then why you didn't cease the chase?
Yeah. So my first note was, victimize the victim. Now, I don't know if I maybe didn't put that down right, but you could tell that immediately when they went to the family, what's the first thing they do? Well, he was a drug dealer, or he had a horrible record, or that's the first initial thing they do. They don't say that this guy had a family. They don't say that he had a son. They don't say that he worked 9 to 5, that he was getting his life together. They don't say anything like that. They just go completely to the absolute negative to basically say to present it as if this was okay because he was a bad person. Same thing they did with George Floyd. Immediately, he was stealing out of the store. Like, is that a result of him dying? That don't equal. So I want to go ahead.
We had a show. We call it Rap Sessions. It used to be called the Interdimension on Thursdays, called Rap Sessions, with me and Charlotte and Reddy Kev. And we had a theme last week on police brutality. And I just wanted to bring up in LAPD, they have at one point, you would hear it over the radio, NHI. You know, it's blah, 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 blah. NHI, no humans involved. You in a black neighborhood, somebody gets shot, no humans involved.
Wow.
So that lets you know right there where law enforcement stands when it comes to somebody from our community doing anything.
Wow.
Cheers.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and at the beginning of this, I can't remember who said the quote, but part of their quote was in the name of the law or in defiance of the law. And I put on there, I said, in the name of the law or in defiance of the law, people do horribly disturbing things. In this particular case, the police did it in the name of the law and in defiance of the law. They were on both sides in this particular case.
Yeah.
The artist formerly and currently known as Benita A. Whitfield. I like that album cover too. It looks like
that's a great album cover.
Like you got a neo soul album coming out on Friday.
Like the sun is shining on it and stuff. Yeah.
Look, you and Golden Brooks can put a duet out
I'll
together.
Collaborate.
Emotional roller coaster.
Be great. Appreciate you for tuning in. Check out the hip hop battle. I think there's one coming up Friday. Maybe it's
D Great can produce it. You know, have a little rap part in there.
It's Thursday. It's Thursday, but I'm Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. D Great could be the DJ, DJ drama for the whole.
And I'll be the Suge Knight.
I'll be P Diddy.
Y'all dancing, P Diddy and Dame Dash. The part that really got me mad is that the union police or police union was lying to them kids at school. Yeah, and kids was ready.
I hated that.
Yeah,
the kids was looking at him like, you lying.
You lying.
Yeah, he is, man. But the teacher was like, she's serving it up.
Oh, the lady was the teacher, or I thought she was.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the teacher that was on the side who asked
the question on the floor with the kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she as far as I'm concerned, she's culpable because hell, if I was a teacher now, I'm like, all right, we good. We out of time right now.
Yeah, we need to get back to reading. See you later.
Yeah. Our bath water on fire. We gotta go.
Yep, the villainizing the victim. Yeah, that's the same thing, and we know it. We know it immediately after it happens. The first thing they're gonna say is the worst possible thing that person did. It could be 20 years ago.
He failed in ninth grade.
Yeah, right. You couldn't read that well. Doesn't that mean you should? That don't equal that. And Tamir, Tamir being described as a 20-year-old.
Yeah,
and the almost instantaneous execution of him. He just basically pulled up. He didn't say nothing. That was a drive-by.
No. See, we gonna keep it honest on this show. He did yell through the door, the closed window and door, drop the weapon. Can't say the police officer didn't say drop the weapon. He yelled through the raised window and the closed door, drop the weapon.
That was the first lie he got caught in.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. How? Yeah. Okay. Let's. Yeah. Really. How are you afraid? That's the part that really blew my mind.
Man, you ain't that afraid, man.
You standing on top of the car.
Pumping rounds
of the car.
50 rounds into
49, but it don't make a difference.
Yeah, but I'm afraid. So I'm gonna get as close as I can to this guy who I'm afraid of. To put myself in the most vulnerable position to be hurt by him.
Right.
And my co-workers.
Yeah. Crossfire could have got you.
And that's what was going on the whole time. It was crossfire. one of my first notes was no weapon was in the vehicle right off the rip. The guy said, and as we kind of fast forward a little bit, the cop that initially pulled him over said that it was a Coke can, or there was a Coke can that was going over on the radio.
Yeah, they said that.
So I mean, it's you
I
chose.
I ain't seen no red and silver, red and white guns, or however they described it. I ain't seen no red guns. I done fired a lot of weapons.
No.
I mean, hell, even Mattel makes the military's M16s. They made by Mattel, but them some bitches is black.
Yeah.
Hey, the brother who pulled him over should be locked up because he said,
Really?
That's right.
I looked up and I saw him not use a turn signal. I said, yes,
I got it.
Yeah. And then when he was on the stand, you could tell he was just the look in his eyes was like,
John Jordan was his name. He had the whole look. His whole demeanor was, I'm with y'all.
Right.
His whole demeanor, the entire, I'm with y'all. He might as well have just said, I'm with y'all. Because my note was, I said, John Jordan, which is his name, needs his skin peeled from his body and sprinkled with salt for beating the homeless, because that's what he do.
Yeah.
You're known for beating the homeless.
Yeah.
Really.
Wow.
And he thought, and this is going to
probably more than that, HRap, if you want to know the truth.
Probably.
Telling what he do with the female homeless.
Yeah.
Rape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he thought he went to the OJ school. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Now you black. And it's gonna show up. It's gonna show up in the opportune times, and you think you're on the right side. This is a comment from Charlotte. Yes, this Joe. The facts that the kids didn't even respond. None of the kids said anything. I don't remember seeing any of the kids say anything.
They wouldn't try to respond. I don't blame them.
Why? We know the truth.
That white lady was outrageous. She said, now we know he was playing cops and robbers, but we also know you should play cops and robbers in your backyard.
Yeah.
Hell, you would have called them too. You would have called them to the house. What's the point?
Right. They would have knocked over the fence. They would have ran over the fence and shot him again.
Because he was a 20-year-old playing cops and robbers, even though he 40 left.
Come on, man.
He's a 20-year-old little person.
Right, exactly. Andre Bailey, thank you for tuning in. Happy holidays to you. The convenient amnesia. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't recall.
Even though Officer Brillo was bragging to one of the other officers that he was standing on top of the car.
Was he bragging? Hell, I couldn't understand what he was saying. How did he become a cop? Shit, don't you got to talk to be able to be a cop?
Your grandfather and your father got to be a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he barely could form sentences, man.
He was
Gotta be the dumbest cop I ever heard talk.
Yeah. And it was reported, that he was yelling out Semper Fi.
Yeah.
There's
amazing.
How about the way people in the neighborhood described the undercover cop? And he even admitted that he had to let the car go because he couldn't hold him.
He shouldn't have pulled him over in the first place. Right. They was like, is it legal for you to pull over somebody undercover?
Right.
Well, it ain't written.
It ain't really in there, but dispatch even said it was a pop can and no gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That's another way you knew, because they were talking about it's a pop can because they say pop. They didn't say soda. They didn't say Coke. They said it's a pop can. So everybody knew what they were talking about.
Everybody heard that.
The choice they made, let's just be honest, they made a choice that we're going to execute these people. That was it.
Yeah, you had the audacity to run from us. Don't you see we telling you to stop? Cops have proven time and time again, when you don't obey their orders, they got a problem with it. Whether those orders are legal, whether those orders are just, whether those orders they have a right to give them, if you don't obey them, they got a problem with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a feeling, honestly, when I saw this may be far-fetched, but no matter how many times they were struck, I felt like Brillo got on the car to make sure they definitely did not talk if they survived.
There you go.
I felt like that was pretty much, dude, you try to shut them up because you know you're wrong.
I'm shutting this whole thing down, and none of y'all surviving this.
Right.
Period.
Get the Justin comment quickly. That's exactly what they had.
That's exactly. That's exactly
They would've
what
kept
that police
me.
union.
Yeah, that just meant I got killed 20 minutes earlier. That's what that means.
Right.
That's what that police
Because
union.
if I run,
guy
I got a
said
chance to
multiple
survive.
times. Yeah, that's what he said multiple times. If you just stop, everything is all good.
Fuck your stop
It's been
sign.
proven that's not the
I
case.
didn't give a shit about that damn stop. Oh, maybe he should obey. No, fuck you too. So whatever. Stop this shit. On my damn nerves. Shut your ass up.
And Charlie, you're right. How many times in their backyard, in their front yard,
Just in
going
Dallas.
into their house?
Just in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm at my house eating ice cream, watching TV.
Yeah, the lady in
What
Fort
did he
Worth
need
just
to
playing
stop?
with her nephew.
This?
Right.
Right.
Stop
Tatiana
sitting in your house
Taylor.
in your drawers.
Mhm.
Right. Stop minding your own business.
I thought this was my apartment.
Mhm.
Really?
What? Come on, lady.
Yeah, you smell all the incense in here. You know this wasn't your shit.
That chicken.
Does it smell like litter box?
It also smell like cat piss.
You smell the blue. Yeah, you smell the blue magic in here. You smell the sulfate in here. This ain't your shit.
You can smell that sporting waves.
Yeah.
You know that big people are Jamaican coconut burn?
You know what it is, lady.
Yeah, you
Really?
smell the shea butter in this motherfucker. This ain't yours.
No, that ain't fine salt. It's fabuloso.
Kirby Alexander, thank you for tuning in. Michael Neal, peace to you as well, brother. You smell the seasoning in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
smell
one.
all this Lowry's in here. Yeah, this ain't none of yours.
Yeah, right.
This Tony Shashery.
You this damn Al Green plant.
Yeah.
Damn well.
Yeah.
You hear F the police? You know that's not your place.
Stop.
Stop playing.
Stop.
Stop playing.
Ah, boy.
Now
Yeah, you see Soul Train on TV. Yeah, this ain't yours.
that's okay.
Okay.
Saw the
Somebody
black chick on the wall.
Knew better. She knew better.
Patricia Mason, thank you. She come in the building laughing. Yeah,
That's Patricia.
we gotta do what we gotta do.
Man.
We might have a whole girl group. Put Patricia Mason's picture back up there. Her and the artist formerly known as Whitfield, and
Yeah.
shoot, we might have us a group. Look like
Yeah,
Sister
group.
Sledge in this month.
Yeah. There's a duet going.
But Rucker in there too.
Yeah, look like
Might
Sister
got a
Sledge in there.
Got a full group.
Yeah.
What topic? What topic? Okay, so
All of them.
everything. So 137 shots. It's on Netflix. It's available. It's it's like we kind of talked about at the beginning. It's something that we've seen, but this, which hadn't seen it before, didn't know about it. So it's something that I think you have to watch to see. But the family, I respected the family in this because, and I respect whoever did this, that they gave the family time to talk about Timothy, and also they gave also the family of Melissa as well to talk about them, because they don't get that. All they get is that one clip when they're doing their press conference, and they're whatever they're saying, then they cut the clip short. They gave them time to talk about their people, and I
They get black people to talk about Jesus, and then they cut them off.
Right, exactly.
Lord said,
and then they're like, in the weather, yeah, they're going to switch it up real quick. It said, "We are family."
The whole chat room trying to get in on naming the group.
we
Yes. Yes.
Jeopardy.
Justin talking about SWV number 2.
Which one of y'all gonna be the one with the long nails? What was the name?
Coco.
But
Coco George.
yep, Eddie George. It's Eddie George. Eddie George wife. But the scared of our life, the scared of my life or scared of our lives, MO is beyond.
Gosh.
Is beyond old, and it doesn't even make sense.
Right.
If you were in a gun battle that would make sense. Maybe you would be scared. If it was you and one other person and you were doing a draw, like the harder they fall, then yeah, you could say you were scared of your life. But you're saying it was 62 people cars. I mean, I don't know how many people. I don't know if they said that.
If it's 62
but I can't
cars,
buy it. I can't buy that because you
120 people.
Yeah, 2 people per car.
But see, I can't buy that because you're so gung ho. I need to go defend my country. Let me join the military. But you're not scared then. I mean, you're talking about you getting bombed every day over there, and I'm like, but yet a little backfire, you're ready to call the whole cavalry in.
Like, Joe, and the answer to that question is because of the way we are portrayed. Ever since, what's the name of that movie that came on, The Birth of a Nation? No. You know, I think that may be the earliest account, one of the earliest accounts of them.
That is the earliest account.
Yeah, the propaganda that is spewed, trying to paint a picture of who we are.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the earliest count. And it was previewed the screener was at the White House.
Wow.
So you got, and then the irony is 100 years later, you got our brother Ahmaud Arbery. And in that movie, Birth of a Nation, they talked about how Black men are oversexed, they are savages, and they have long toenails. 100 years later, Ahmaud Arbery is described as having long, dirty toenails. The game plan never changes. It is just reinstated bit by bit because if you watch this, you realize, if you watch this and the Black Power movement in England, you realize that learning your history is the most important and vital thing you could do as somebody, as an African, as a person of African descent in the United States of America, because it ain't just here, it's all over the world that they're doing these things to us. Right. And if you only encompass the people in these 50 states, these 50 million people that live here, you're doing your people a disservice, because this game plan is going on worldwide.
Yeah, and when we watch Exterminate All the Brutes, we even talked about how the playbook is the same. It has not changed.
Oh, yeah.
It has not changed. A different offensive coordinator may be running the offense. And so you might see he might change the formation, but they running the same plays.
They ain't even changing the formation.
Yeah, running the same play.
I think the background from them being scared is jealousy. That's a part of the scared part, that we don't want to we don't want to give you anything because we know that you can flip it and do it better than we can. That's right. That's part of that fear, or part of that being scared thing. But back to Brelo real quick. He think he needed a drool cup. He had a drool cup in his in his squad car.
Yeah, I was thinking he might be a little reread myself.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
he let him have a gun.
You talk, I hear often about how sometimes when you hear mass shootings and stuff like that, a common theme is, he applied for the police department but didn't pass the mental screening or whatever. And I'm wondering, how in the hell did Brelo pass this mental screening, man? It just didn't make any sense. There's no question whatsoever that he had some PTSD issues from Iraq, Afghanistan, or wherever he was. It was obvious.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not going to give him that pass, Dawk. I just think that's who he was. I think he's third-generation police officer.
It was in his blood.
It was in his blood. His father told him that was cool. His grandfather told him that was cool. And he was definitely a reread. So I don't think with PTSD, he just 30% retired. And he out there with a gun and a badge and can do what the hell he want to do.
And Charlotte, it is all about conquering. Going back to Exterminate All the Brutes. Wherever they go, let's kill everything. And let's rebuild it, even though we really don't know what we're doing. But we're gonna conquer and rebuild something that we don't know. This is a good question from Justin. How do we as Black people combat this system in place?
I can answer that. I personally believe we need to start joining the. Like I said, I've been saying this for about 3 months on my show. We have to start raising our children to be attorneys, doctors, police officers, and politicians. First and foremost, because see, when you start getting people as representatives, state representatives, they can start, and then you got an influx of us going into the military, then coming to the police force, just like they're doing. What you can do is initiate a black precinct for black people, and then you can make it advantageous to the police officers to live in that community that they're policing, so you'll know the people that you're policing. Therefore, when Dawk makes a mistake, Officer HRap will know Dawk and make it to, instead of locking you up. Like I told a story last Thursday on my show. There's these two cats. Mike Neal know these guys. Charlotte knows these guys. Big Illinois knows this guy. We used to call them 21 Jump Street. They were very young black men who were on the police force here in Chicago. And me, Dawk, Big Illinois, and Charlotte, we come from an extremely unique, so we come from unique circumstances. We literally lived on the tracks, because if you go 2 blocks this way or 2 blocks that way, you are literally walking into millionaires. I had put like this. In my neighborhood, I walked into a Walgreens and saw Harry Carey purchasing beer. But the Pretty Green Projects is 3/4 of a mile in the other direction. So Eddie Murphy, we used to call him Eddie Murphy, and we call him 21 Jump Street. We call it one of them Eddie Murphy. I forgot what we called the other one. And they used to harass the hell out of me as a kid. And when I became an adult, maybe about 19, they pulled up in front of us again, me and my man Draz. And they was like, hey, man, we was just messing with y'all because we knew y'all wasn't on nothing. And we needed y'all to stay on the right path. And we were like, man, that was cool. And it was nothing. And they never got disrespectful or anything. They just used to be like, hey, man, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
And man, what you bothering us for? We just going to play ball. So up until and including the moment we started including ourselves in the process. See, what we do is a lot of complaining about the process. And we don't do anything to engage in the process. So Brother Mike Neal is a high-ranking police officer. Right there. And he's also a member of the Nation of Islam. And he's also former military. So Mike is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. We need to go into the military. Like, you got a young man or a young lady who don't have a plan. And we know a lot of these young people. I ain't got a plan. I'm just mad to get the hell out of high school right now. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the military. I'm going to learn organizational skills. I'm going to get some education, and I'm going to learn some skills. And then I can immediately go into the police department, right, leading out of that. And now I can police my community. We can get Ricky Hendon, that's here in Chicago, Hollywood. Ricky Hendon, he retired as a state rep. Burnett, the great elder, state secretary of state Jesse White. He was my alderman when I was growing up. And we start doing that, matriculating through the system. But what we do is sit back and complain. I complain to Dawk, I complain to Wilks, I complain to Ben about what's wrong, but we don't never want to engage. Right. We must start to engage. If all of us start engaging, and like I even said on the show Thursday, what we need to do is, if we get into these city council meetings and then these state representative meetings, make it advantageous for firemen and police officers as well as school teachers to live in that community. So now Dawk is a police officer, and Dawk lives in this community, and he has housing discounts. Or if you're a police officer for 10 years, maybe you own that house now. And but you can't sell it, but you can live there and it's yours. You can't, that's part of, you're gonna have to live there. All of a sudden, you got a whole precinct of cops living in a what used to be a high crime area. The crime naturally reduced because it's police officers always there. They only down the street from the precinct. And I believe that's what needs to happen. Military, politics, and then all of a sudden the playing field is level, and then things will get better naturally. But we just complain. We don't complain. You know, you on that show, Dawk, because Dawk is a Baptist and I'm a Catholic. Oh, what's wrong with him? He's supposed to be a Baptist. He ain't supposed to be no Buddhist. No. Start working together. I'm going to play this clip with Kwame Ture tomorrow because I'm rebranding everything at the end of the mention Built for This Network tomorrow with my segment. And it's about immobilization, and activation. And I'll be quiet after this. Dr. King was an immobilizer. Malcolm X was an organizer. Every time Dr. King came to a place, they get discriminated against, he'll shut down discrimination, then he'll move on. But Malcolm X created Muslim Moms Incorporated and said it right there. So y'all messing with us now.
Yeah.
People at Muslim Moms Incorporated, had he lived, Muslim Moms Incorporated would have been bringing in Dawk, they'd be bringing in Wilks, would have been bringing in Ben, and we all would have been part of the process to maintain the community. And that we could no longer have immobilizers without organizers. And more than likely, that's why those two brothers didn't live, because all of a sudden, Brother Malcolm, our great ancestor Malcolm X, started saying, I want to work with our great ancestor Dr. King, and all of a sudden the immobilizer and the organizer are in unison, and things are totally different.
Powerful.
Be quiet.
Yeah. And just to give a quick, concise answer to Justin's question, basically, it's to infiltrate the system. How do we combat the system? You infiltrate the system. Yeah. And because basically the long and short of it is, whether you know it or not, we are at war. Okay. Yeah. And the book, The Art of War, talks about know thine enemy. And you're not going to know thine enemy unless you're getting close to him. So you got to infiltrate the system.
Yeah.
That's why I mean, even, they mentioned it in here, my dad was a cop, my uncle was a cop, my uncle's son was a cop. I mean, to them, it becomes generational. It's just like with their wealth, that wealth gap we talk about,
nepotism all day long.
Yeah, just pass it on, keep it generational. And that's, like I said, you have to infiltrate. You have to start, like, HRap was saying, raise those judges and prosecutors and attorney generals and things like that. But
and we've heard this, and they talked about this in the documentary. But if that police officer was in that community and he seen Tamir Rice, he would have come up to him like, "Hey, man, come on, put that away, give it to me, whatever." But because, to HRap's point, they don't even know, they can't even relate to the community. They go into it like it's a war zone. Right. To Dawk's point. So that is really it. Michael Neal with a good comment. Before the street organizations turned left, they were policing our neighborhoods. Yeah,
and we've heard this ad nauseum. The police are not protecting and serving, which is their first order of business. But there's very little protection. There's almost no serving.
Right.
But the thing is, with that serving protecting, that's an incomplete sentence. It's kind of like with the Bible. People will quote the Bible and they won't quote the verse before and after. Just give you the one that suits. It's serve and protect the property of the rich. That's the entire statement. But they only go serve and protect. Yeah. And I mean, look at it, man. These people were these people were put out there, and for the whole thing was created to catch enslaved Africans. So, and another thing to talk about what Brother Mike said. Even I like to add on to what Brother Mike said. Even with the street organizations, we come from a highly infiltrated street organization community. And for those who don't understand what me and Brother Mike said, y'all call them street gangs. Let me tell you something, man. There was this young man named Yummy Sanders murdered in Chicago. And he was murdered by a gang member. And the people in the streets put the word out. Whoever killed him, you gonna turn yourself in or your family gonna have problems. 2 days later, that young man walked into a police station. So while everybody thinks Chicago is this wild and crazy place, the street gangs in Chicago have always conducted themselves as a semi-paramilitary organization. You had to answer to people, but you never got that because it's not cool to let people know that, we're participating in nefarious activities. We're doing things that we have no business doing. But you know what? I know personally of gang members. I don't even know if he's alive anymore. There's a cat named Fat Jaw. He was out on the west side of Chicago. I watched him try to talk a young man out of the gang. He said, "Man, why don't you go on over there with them? Them your friends? Go over there with them. You don't want this."
Right.
So, you hear a lot about Chicago, but they systematically took the hierarchy of the gangs off the streets. And when they did that, it became total chaos and mass confusion.
Yeah.
I know when I was growing up, it was a big thing for like the fire department and the police department, which that's kind of a small way to recruit kids and make us look like we're superheroes. But I mean, do they even interact with high school, elementary anymore? Do the police even come talk to? I mean, I remember they would hold like in the gym or in the cafeteria or something like, or sometimes they would come to the church and speak if they had like summer camp at the church. I mean, I remember that stuff, but it's like I guess they don't even do that kind of engagement.
Dude, they would stop by you if you were standing out in front of your house. They would, and they rode by. They would pull over and give you a baseball card and talk to you and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't even know if they even do that anymore.
Which we do see that, but I don't think we see it in large spurts. Because I agree with you, Wilks. We had the police officers would come to the school. The firemen would come to the school. And as a kid, going to the fire department and just getting in the truck. I mean, that was like that was like going to the park. I mean, that was like,
hey man. To quote the great philosopher Brad Jordan, y'all know him as Scarface. When I was in school, he gave me a pass. When I was in the street, Officer Friendly kicked my ass. Damn.
Yes.
Not in Chicago. You used to have Dare. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have Dare.
Yeah.
So I just dare you to move.
Right. I dare you to walk.
I dare you to run.
Now, going back to 137 shots in the documentary, they said one of the officers was known for overreacting. Was that Brelo, or was that somebody else?
Brelo. Yeah, it was Brelo.
Yeah, and he 100%. This wasn't even. I don't know what this wasn't. I don't think you can call this an overreaction. He just went from 0 to 100 at nothing. Mm-hmm. Like you're chasing a backfired sound. Right. Like my parents had a car, an old Datsun, that backfired all the time.
And then the one guy talking about he smelled the gun smoke, bro.
Just bald-faced lying. Just
so you got retarded over here that's wearing the helmet and drooling on the show. Then you got this guy over talking about he smelled gun smoke, gunpowder. Like, bro, stop, man.
You should be indicted for that. That's obstruction of justice.
Yeah, that's straight up lying about something. And shout out to you, Justin, on that. Having the cops in Garland come out and talk with the community once COVID slows down.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Brelo and the one he looked up to.
No, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, Simone. Yeah. He was like, he's a cop. Because
he done
shot 12 people.
Yeah.
Right. And he was still on the force, right? Or was he retired?
It looked like he was still the man.
I don't know.
Because remember, in the dock, he was practicing shooting.
Yeah. Right. He was at the gun range.
Right.
Yeah. These fools standing in the circle shooting, of course, shots were coming towards you because you're shooting at each other.
And only one of them said he had sense enough to stop shooting.
Yeah,
because I saw that fool standing on the cup.
Yeah, I didn't want to shoot the Riri.
Hold on. If we're all shooting at each other,
I don't want to shoot the handicapped retarded guy.
Yeah, that's the one cop I thought was going to do the right thing. And he even heard on, he's like, I just want to tell the truth. I just want to do the right thing. But when he got to court, he said, I stopped shooting at him, but I still fear for my life.
Yeah.
I saw him standing on the car. Okay, well, when you saw him standing on the car, did you still were in fear? Yep, I was still scared.
Yeah. Now, I think the thing that probably pissed me off the most was the supervisor that said she wouldn't change anything except them stop. Except maybe they should have stopped. Really? You just say that with a clear face.
And then said she would have did it again.
She would have did it again the exact same way.
Yeah, that same cop I just referred to, they said, would you have any conversations with anybody before this? And he says, yeah, we spoke with the police union. And what did they say to you? He goes, they told me to keep this to myself. So he told them, the police union basically said, stay quiet. Don't tell nobody else that. Yeah.
Do you think they forced them not to talk? Yeah. Well, I don't think it was
forced. They didn't have to force them. They just had to get a word.
They got coached.
Talking.
I think it is a force because Look at it this way. I don't know if you guys watch that television show, Chicago PD.
Familiar.
I've seen it.
The brother who's on that show is actually from the south suburbs of Chicago. And he told the truth. And half the force on the television show was after him. They jumped him. And it was a couple of times that he needed backup and they didn't assist him.
But my point is that they don't have to force him anymore. It may have started out as being if you don't do what we say you're gonna do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But shit, now do any of them cops look like they didn't do it willingly? Shit.
It's and to the point, the radio host, I don't remember his name, but he said this was kind of towards the end where he said most cops are good cops, they just protect bad cops.
Yeah,
and that's that's it, right? It's a fraternity doing the wrong things.
Did y'all see how the prosecutor got? They looked at him and how much trouble he got in for saying the term "the blue wall."
Yeah.
Oh, they were wanting to lynch him right then for even saying the term "the blue wall."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and they all
even the judge scolded him for saying it.
Yeah,
he did.
And they all pled the fifth.
Yeah, the judge broke up. That's a lot of this is politics. They need that. See, that's they need that police backing. You know, if the police union or you know the police organizations don't endorse a politician, it's hard for that politician to get elected in any particular city or town. So that's what they're going for. They're going for that police unions or police associations endorsement. Once they have that, it's pretty much church.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me how they don't even care. And then they wonder why you get called racist or a prejudice because you look like you don't give a shit because you don't.
Yeah.
You can care less.
Because you're willing to openly lie in court.
Right.
Right.
You give no fucks at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Zero.
Yeah, Charlotte. And I don't think it's the judge's place to be arguing with the prosecutor. You're not an arguer. Right. You're a moderator. You're supposed to be making sure that they are arguing their case within the law, not for you to give your opinion on it.
Right.
Yeah. Charlotte, you're right. The system is rotten from the inside out. It needs to be rebuilt from the ground up. It needs a complete new foundation.
But again, chances are, if you reversed and went back and looked closely, that judge was probably put into his position by people who knew I need you to be pro us, you know, or
I need you to do this for me.
You know, some of the shows like what's that show is based in Baltimore, where they basically talked about how what was the name of Dawk, where you know they showed how politicians and police chiefs and all those people get put into place. You know, shit, it's a you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Hey, you know, I put you there. You know, if you don't do right, I can get you right out.
You just saw it with Carl Rittenhouse. I'm gonna set him free, Schroeder. The judge was arguing for the prosecution.
Right, exactly. And they had Brelo, you know, was all crying and like, you know, the tears come out. The tears come out when they need to. Where was the tears when you were standing on top of the car?
And his doggone attorney had the nerve to be crying when they got him out too. Like he acted like it was so close, we almost lost.
And he was like, now we just need to take time and heal. Who you talking to? Who? Wow. Your pockets need to heal?
That's code word for y'all get over it.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wrote down, what complete idiots. Like, you shooting at each other and you don't even realize you're shooting at each other. Like, what complete idiots.
The Keystone Cops is what I wrote down. Keystone effing Cops is what I wrote there.
There was no weapon in the car. And I want to say
the key statement, somebody said 137 shots that we know about. That means how many that didn't get counted, how many from a ballistic standpoint couldn't be recovered or, you know,
or just could be missed.
Yeah, that's what I'm exactly that they just flat out missed.
Yeah.
In this case, 7 shots would have been too many. 37 shots would have been too many, let alone 137.
Right.
Homeboy had Riri had to reload, pop, reload, pop. You shot 49 rounds, bro.
Right.
You were afraid.
And then the guy's talking about when he jumped up on the car, they were still a posable threat.
They were dead at that point.
Yeah.
What threat were they?
Right. And then he's going, and yeah,
a working man and a homeless woman. What threat were they?
And what the key is, they said
crying, talking about I just can't believe they were still moving and trying to shoot at us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And they said the cat that originally reacted about the backfire, they said he was known for overreacting. He had a jacket that had already said he was an overreactor.
Yeah.
A hothead is what they're trying to say.
Yeah, that guy. On your conscience, man. The black attorney. I seen him in the background. I was like, man, that was
conscious.
He don't care.
No conscious.
Mm-hmm. He's on the meal ticket. He don't care.
Right.
Yeah, that John Jordan cop, I think he either on the meal ticket or trying to get there.
Oh yeah.
He's doing what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You did something. You did something to help us out. Was he getting paid?
I'm sure he
was.
Most
of the time they are. When they're on administrative leave.
Yeah, because remember, even after he got acquitted, he's like, it's been 2 years. I've been sitting there in purgatory is what he called it. Yeah. So they're not leaving him in purgatory without paying him. He was getting paid to sit at the high.
Playing Call of Duty.
I think the radio show host talked about how much money they spent on paying off lawsuits and all this other kind of stuff. You'd think money would be the reason why they say, okay, we need to reform this situation. We need to get this situation together. It's costing us too much money.
Getting this practice in on Call of Duty, just waiting on his next opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of sack of nuts must you have to be sitting there playing Call of fucking Duty after you done shot somebody 50 times?
Yeah,
he doesn't care one iota what you think of him or his reputation or whatever. He don't care. Because you can't do a damn thing about it. We just proved it.
Right.
The fact that he came on there and talked for that long, like that is
I was like, oh.
To the point of Elevate podcast is one of his previous episodes. That was white privilege 101 right there. I don't care. I did what I did, and nothing's gonna happen to me. So I'm just gonna live my life. Yeah, really. Like I don't want to talk about it right now. Okay. Now the dude standing across from you was still shooting. Exactly.
Yeah.
Shooting at each other, dummies.
Yeah. Gosh, man.
And I'm going to say this: Timothy Russell was not a bad person. Let's just say that loud and clear.
No,
it was not a bad person. Did not deserve to die in that way at all.
And you want to know one of the most painful pieces of this, man? When I think it was his brother, was crying at the beginning of the episode, man. I said, ain't no pain like seeing a grown man cry, man. When I seen that brother cry, man, you want to talk about it's difficult to watch, man.
Yeah. Because you think, and a lot of us, when we see stuff on TV, you're like, wow, that's praying for that family. And then you're like, oh, that's me. That was my family. That was my brother. So
yeah.
This is nothing comparable to that.
And the police union wants to say that in our review, all these actions were justified. Like, how can you use them words? It was like you just erased the chalkboard, like everything was all good.
And the union president talking about, it's not the police department that's the issue, it's the fatherless families and the inner city, the school and the violence in the inner cities and babies raising babies. And I'm like, bro, you don't even, I'm not even asking if you hear yourself right now because you're just full of shit too. It's like,
really?
Come on, man. Stop.
And the fact that it's been 242 people murdered by the police since George Floyd.
Wow.
God,
142 millions in dozens. Wow. So I mean,
wow.
I mean, just logically.
And that 142 million is chump change considering the lives that they done taken.
Mm-hmm. Logically, wouldn't it make sense to just get it right on the front end? Logically, doesn't that make sense? Then to pay money to people?
But they're not concerned about right, boy.
Hell no.
They're not concerned about right.
Yeah.
Right is not the mission.
Yeah.
Because everybody, it's to protect them in this mission. It's like, hell, shit, everybody lying in this case. Like, really? We still sticking with the gunshots, but it was backfire. Okay. You still believe that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So what he's saying is that, you know, white folks go do a mass murder and they still somehow peacefully get taken in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You weren't afraid for their life.
And they get taken to
right.
McDonald's and they get the Happy Meal and they
I
get
was
the
scared
toy.
he's gonna point that AR-15 at me.
Yeah, this Joker just got through killing 72 Jokers, and you take him in. You probably don't even put on the cuffs on him. Here, man, you all right? You know.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you mysteriously kill somebody the day before the anniversary of the largest slave revolt that just happened to be created by the dude who created AME Church in South Carolina, Demar Vesey. And you do that the day before his 100-year anniversary of the slave revolt. And nobody even put the dots together. And then you get to go to Burger King.
Right, exactly.
But nobody talked about that. Nobody talked about this is 100 years after Demar Vesey was.
You get what he's talking about there?
I don't get it.
I don't either. When he said mass shooter, Betty
He said it before,
but a couple of times.
You know what he's talking about?
You get it, HRap?
Oh no.
Explain, just.
Yeah, but that to me, the shooting at the church, because I wasn't there, but I guarantee you he came in there and those people embraced him when he clearly he had the wrong motive. Yeah. So when you talk about our people, like when we can embrace you, we don't know what you're doing. We don't know what your motives are. We eventually we found out what it was.
Oh,
but they embraced you.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, went right over the head. But you can tell when you hear the news, you can tell most of the time who it is. If they got if he getting walked away in handcuffs, then you can pretty much know.
And
if he getting rolled away,
or they put you in a bulletproof vest and walk you away.
Yeah,
really. Let's protect him. Make sure nothing happens to this killer.
And what's funny is that during this whole thing, I think it was during the court proceedings, they said a key phrase that they say all the time. Look, none of the police officers chose to be put in this situation. You know, that's you know, when they talk about he shouldn't have ran, you know, they should have just stopped, all that other kind of. We didn't choose to be put in this situation. Yeah, you chose to because you chose to take off chasing it. That's why in some communities, once a chase has gone so long at such a high rate of speed, etc., you are mandated to pull off the chase for the safety of other civilians. Hey, that's a damn good question, Justin.
Hey, but you know what? That's what I was just about to say. At that AME church, they was like, nope, we don't forgive his ass. Mm-hmm. They like, nope. We mad.
Yeah.
We ain't little mad, we big mad.
Yeah. That's a great question.
But
I think it's not okay. Here's the thing: it's not in us to be evil. Now it is in people to be inherently evil and to be the same stuff that they call us savages and all this other stuff, lazy and all that stuff. That's them.
Actually, them kind of people, man.
That's the truth. I honestly don't care what anybody has to say. That is the
truth. I think your HRap, you remember this example you gave not too long after your mom's passing, I believe, where somebody had upset you and you took some advice and you didn't get on them when they were supposed to, and that scared the hell out of them.
Yeah.
So part of that is probably why, because we are not reacting the way that they expect us to react most of the time. It's probably baffling, mind blowing to them on how we conduct ourselves. And we have Black folks got a quiet strength, man. We got, and whether we try to show it or not try to show it, we just go about our business, man. And they are so moved by our presence that, you know, man, they don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, because I think it's to a point now where it's like, what else can you show me that I haven't seen already?
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
it's like you steady keep trying to break me, but you're not gonna get that satisfaction. You're not gonna get that satisfaction.
Yeah, it's what I always tell my kids, my children. People only make accusations and react to things because the way they would react. That's why they're so quick to shoot us. Because if they were us, they'd be shooting back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
they're going, I'm
No
scared because at
No
some
doubt.
point they are
No
going
doubt.
to pop back.
Right.
No doubt.
And I need to hurry up and keep this fear going, because if I don't, it's going down.
Let's be proactive.
This is what it's like to me. I compare it to, I was in a relationship before that if I pointed out something she was doing wrong, she was like, why are you dwelling on this? This shit ain't right. So that's the same thing we get told whenever we talking about this police brutality and injustice is, why do you keep dwelling on it? Dwelling on the problem, because the problem still exists. That's why I'm dwelling on it, because it is not rectified.
Right.
See,
I mean, we're literally watching this and we're seeing footage from 1960s and the 60s and quotes and speeches. Fast forward this documentary, and then what we're talking about now, we're still having conversation, circular conversation at that.
Yeah. It's in color. The only difference is it's in color.
Right.
That's it.
At Justin, one of the issues is that we can't. What needs to be done to correct the situation is a togetherness that we lack right now, unfortunately. And it's because we have people like the attorney that was working for this guy, and the cop, the John Jordan guy, et cetera, et cetera. The unity and the togetherness that we need to accomplish this, we lack, because we got those people who are speaking on their behalf. They can just sit back, really, most of the time, because they got enough of us stating their case for them. Like, why y'all worried about it? It wasn't them, it was their ancestors. It was all this.
And to answer your question, it is not evil to want justice. No, it is not. It is not at all.
And you are 100% right, Charlotte.
I don't call it justice anymore. I call it crime and punishment, because justice means somebody coming back.
Okay.
That's justice. Justice is the result of fair exchange.
Mm-hmm.
You let us be on here and we give you our honest, unadulterated opinions. That's justice. Right. That's an exchange. But when you murder someone, there is no justice, because that person, my cousin Vincent, and literally millions of others, will never get up. My pops ain't getting up.
Right, Rhonda, and right, Charlotte. Both of you are 100% right.
And that's to HRap's point. You said that. So I was going to get to a point, but I think one thing I wanted to, at the beginning of this, and then they did the same thing at the end. Robert F. Kennedy, when he was kind of giving his speech or whatever, exactly what he was saying is exactly what's happening now. And that speech was probably from
68.
60. Yeah.
68.
And I wonder what year did he die?
68.
I was gonna say a little bit after that.
That same exact year.
Yeah. And I think it was the radio host who said something that was poignant to me. He said the people least affected by crime are the most vocal about it, who are always preaching law and order. He goes, y'all ain't affected by crime. Y'all but y'all always talking about law and order, like so much wrong is being done to y'all. Yeah. And that ain't happening.
And I'll say this, the radio host, that aspect of this,
that was a wonderful touch to this documentary.
Was great.
Wonderful touch to this documentary.
It showed that somebody
answer.
But like he said, we talked 3 points about building the Black community and helping the Black community. Nobody called. Right. Then we started talking about this case. The board,
everybody
want to call.
He gave one of the greatest answers in the history of radio, if you ask me, when white nationalists call, trying, Klan adjacent dude call, trying to make a point. He was like, what's your nationality? He's like, American.
What did you think I was
going to say? And he didn't say anything. He's like, what you thought I was going to say something different?
Right.
Thank you. That was a great response. Should we be looking for white people to help in this system?
Isn't that what Dr. King said? Isn't he said that's the true crux of the problem, is for that middle class white that remains silent. Right. That's your issue until they become vocalized. Ain't nobody gonna hear. But you let somebody that look like them who's saying, "Hey, you're wrong," it's like this, man. Imagine if you came to your mama and said, I just got in an argument with my girlfriend and she was saying this and she was saying that, and your mama said, boy, you was wrong. You shouldn't have did this. Don't that hit differently than her mama saying that you was wrong?
Right.
When one of your own say you're wrong, that hit different.
Yeah, the quote you're talking about, Doc, is I'm not afraid of my prejudice, the prejudice adversaries. I'm more upset with my liberal white comrades that stay silent.
Mm-hmm. And basically, because they do not think it affects them. It does. They don't think it does because it doesn't directly affect them. Right. But I guarantee you it indirectly affects them, and it affects the relationships that they build. It affects them on the workplace. It affects them at the grocery store. It affects them on the streets. They don't think it affects them, but it does. But because it's not hitting so close to home to them.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle talked about it with the drug addiction. Just say no.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You think about now it's called an epidemic, and
it ain't an epidemic until it affect white folks. They say
they got an EpiPen, and they driving around. They're driving around looking for crackheads.
Yeah.
Before it was
shit. Do you know the kind of drug problem that happened over in Plano and Allen around here? And you know the kind of meth problem we got in Denton County and all that other kind. You don't hear about that kind of stuff because it ain't us.
Yeah,
it ain't us. But I promise you, they're spending more money on drugs and all that kind of stuff than the entire city of New York spent on crack. Right. They're gonna spend it in 2022. Hey, I guarantee, because they got more money to do it.
Yeah. They went to a point where it talked about the first black mayor of Cleveland, Carl Stokes, and he wanted to change the police department, and that was 60, 70.
Was that dude that was real light? Was he white or was he black?
No, you talking about Frank? That guy
Frank. Was that dude white or was he black, man? Because I still
I looked it up.
He talked black, but he huh?
I looked it up. His dad was black and his mom was like Italian.
Oh, I was like, man, what am I looking at?
I had to pause it and look that up immediately because I was like, I don't know. You sound one way, but
he sound like
he big time. He's real big time, man.
Yeah,
he's all over the place. He's predominantly in Los Angeles though, but he big time.
Yeah, and he's still the mayor. He's still the mayor of Cleveland.
Good point, Charlotte, and Just Joe.
Sadly, many of the whites who fight with us are also sacrificed. Look at the Kennedys. Yeah, the Kennedys, man. Like now, both of them.
Yeah, don't even look like you're trying to help.
And then Just Joe.
Don't even barely. Don't even.
And if I may, no, the other one before when he said there are white people helping, just not the right ones. And unfortunately, it's generally a socioeconomic issue that makes them not the right ones, you know. And they do what they can to discredit those who are on our side for whatever reason. It used to be called nigger lovers. Now it's called something else.
Yeah.
Black.com.
Going back to the barbecue. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Frank definitely. Frank got sit around.
Easiest way to infiltrate right there, boy. Get him on your side. Yeah, I'm telling you right there. I'm a shrewd MFer, man. I'm telling you, now that I'm out of corporate America, I can tell you when I say I systematically infiltrated in corporate America, Justin can even tell you, I talk to him sometimes about how to get into the system and get on that side of the ledger, you know, meaning that management side, getting that kind of paper then reaching back. When I say shrewd at it.
Yeah. No need to ask. He's a shrewd operator.
We are at war.
Yeah. With that, and talking back to the mayor, he wrote a book, and there was I don't remember her name, but she was talking about it. It's just the same thing that was happening in Cleveland during Carl Stokes' time. It's the same thing that happened in 2012. The same thing happening now.
What I'm saying, we still having this conversation. Like we still doing this.
And look here. You know what my mama used to say, right before she whipped my ass? I'm tired of talking.
Yeah,
I'm tired of talking. I knew it when she started saying, all right, I'm tired of talking.
Yeah.
or when she get quiet, or mom get quiet, you like, everything okay?
Yeah. I need to call Andre right now. Now, Andre, I'm tired of talking to your ass. You need to tell these 5 people.
You out of chances.
I'm not gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking.
Now, when Cornell West came up, he had 2 questions. Which now was this WEDB?
That's your boy, ain't it, HRap?
Huh?
That's your boy, ain't it? Cornell West.
Nah. Yeah.
I know.
He said, "How shall integrity meet oppression?" And then he said, "How shall honesty meet?" I didn't catch the last part of what he said, but
Cornell it's Henry Louis Gates.
Yeah, that's right.
The other light skin.
See, Cornell, he never really he's part of that generation that I like to call they white folks tried to make them the magical Negroes. They were translators. You know, I'm speaking about this tomorrow too. We all translating. You know, white folks say one thing, and then we turn to Officer Smith, and Smith say, it's cool. And then we always translate. And Cornell West is who Cornell West, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, and others are people who the social structure uses to understand us. Explain to us what they're talking about. But they can't. Because if you have to be told, you're never going to understand. We're speaking, we code switch with such ease that y'all will never really catch up to us. Y'all can know the slang, y'all can know the language, y'all can know what we're saying, and even know how we're saying it, but it's you
never really get it.
If you watch TikTok today, and we just pulled it up right now and just randomly watch 20 videos, you'd think, oh, racism is fixed. They love us because that's all you see is us in their houses. So you think the shit is over with. And so in the segue sveltly in the Justin's question, should we be done with marching? I'm torn on that because guess what? It seems to have been having some impact and some effect, but what? Are we happy just because you changed the name of some streets through marching? What have you done? What has it accomplished? It's got a lot of attention, right? But what is it truly, and I'm not being critical of the situation at all. I'm just asking a legit question. What is it truly accomplished?
What lives has it saved?
Here's the thing. John Lewis even told us right before he's an ancestor now. He transitioned last year.
Right. Yeah.
He even told us, stop marching. It's time. He said you need to get into some good trouble. What we're doing right now is good trouble. What we live in what is called a capitalistic society. Marching ain't gonna work now. But what will happen is, guess what? Guess who was one of the biggest contributors to anti-voting laws? AT&T. If we all move over to Verizon, or if we all leave,
and that's exactly where I was gonna go. HRap is boycotting. I think money is going to have more impact on anything. That's right. That's the kind of no. We don't need to march. We need to stay at home and keep our money in our pocket or organize where we are going to spend it. And we need to get in front of some cameras and make sure we letting them know we're intentionally doing this. This wasn't no accident.
And stop.
We did this
using Black culture in your video, in your commercials, and in your videos. You get these damn corporations out here. What you standing for? But you don't stand up for us. But you want to use our music.
Turn on a Sprite commercial without it being some Black folks all over it. But do we know what Sprite really stands for? Or are they just marketing geniuses trying to make us think that they with us? What is McDonald's? You can't turn on a McDonald's commercial. With McDonald's been trying to be in our neighborhood forever. You know, Ford, Steve Harvey can't put on a hoodie awards without Ford being all over the place. But do we know what Ford truly stands for? How many Black executives are there? How many employees are you follow me? Do we know what they really stand for?
And I think that's what happened all of a sudden with the marching during the George Floyd untimely situation. But it was like, oh, now you corporations want to put
Rain
black
down this
women
money.
and black businesses,
Mhm.
Google promoting shop black, like all of a
Right.
sudden you want to do this?
Because it's popular. It's marketing. It's a genius marketing move.
Right.
It's money.
Like,
But what?
now
There's
you're-
money
What?
involved.
Look at let's dig into this shit. You know, see, they you know, that's another thing too. They think we dumb, and that's what they're doing. They playing us for some fools. Is what they doing. It's like, let's spend a little money in their community. Let's put a few of them in our commercials, and they think we with us. But behind scenes,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And to confirm, either give more reach to what Dawk is saying, the
Jerry Rice need to get whooped, man.
that was horrible.
that's it. But just be truthfully, that's it.
To give credence to what Dawk and everybody has been saying, this bowl game, Deion Sanders, and I'm like, man, this is one of the biggest talking points of my show tomorrow. Deion Sanders has breathed life.
He's showing how we can change the game. He's showing how we can change the game. And it ain't just about sports either. He's showing how we can change the game. You take your celeb that's got some pull, that's got some money, that's got everybody paying attention to him. Let them make a move.
Yeah.
And this Heritage Bowl that was in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, you usually be able to buy a ticket. You used to be able to walk in backwards like you leaving and get in that game. Now it was sold out. And guess how Jackson State and guess how South Carolina State got to the game? Coca-Cola flew them down.
Wow. Coca-Cola is another one of them companies. Well, Coca-Cola, Sprite, same people.
Yeah. And to your point, HRap, talking about Deion, they Jackson State lost that game. But what he said after the press conference was like, this was for all HBCUs. Yeah, we lost, but
hey, how about this? You want me to make this whole thing a microcosm of society? Let's just talk about the NFL. Where's 75% of the talent?
Black.
What if just all black players went and said, let's go start our own league?
Yeah.
We out.
Oh,
There's got to be black owners. There's got to be whatever, right?
I mean, I think, yeah.
Or just say we not
Negro
playing
League, baseball, even with the baseball Negro League.
You see what the NBA did when they decided to set out and not play them games. You see what kind of movement they got, because that's affecting their money.
Exactly.
That's where the answer is. Follow the money. That's where the answer is. Get in their pockets, and you'll get in their heads.
Even back when I did a sports show, I always asked the question, do you want to be a professional athlete and get paid to play this game, or do you want to be in the NFL, NBA, MLB? Because, yeah, you may not make $20 million, but last time I checked, $8 million is pretty good.
You think this giving new meaning to why you think Colin Kaepernick ass got shut down so hard? Because if he fucks around and inspires the rest of these motherfuckers to do this, we are fucked. I promise you that's their conversation behind closed doors.
You already know what it is.
We better get a hold of this shit.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody probably tried to put our hit out on his ass, man.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's just like we've seen it in everything we've reviewed lately. We've seen it what we haven't reviewed. Anytime black people get mobilized, anytime black people start coming together in positive, they gotta off somebody.
Let them release the rest of these Washington football team emails that Allen GM put out and stuff like that, and you'll see what they really think about your ass. They know if they let that shit out, it may be a whole revolt, man. Ain't no brothers gonna want to play for no jokers talking like. Let them start talking releasing that kind of stuff.
Gruden was the sacrifice.
Oh, no question.
Oh, absolutely.
There's plenty of emails.
They said they gave up a guy worth $100 million to sacrifice billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, to protect billionaire.
Right. All right. Let's get to about towards the end of the show.
Yeah, you can see we pissed off. If you can't tell.
Man, fuck this final thought. I ain't got no final
You
thought.
can't tell. Hell, I ain't telling no jokes today. Shit.
I ain't got no thoughts, man.
I'll start with some final thoughts. How about this? Personal judgment versus protocol. That was said during the thing, and I thought that was a big deal. Personal judgment versus protocol. Yeah. And they always want to push it toward personal judgment because there's a lot of gray area in personal judgment, but there is no fucking gray area in protocol.
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm going to answer Justin's question. Of course, Justin. That's Wilks just said it. Dawk just said it.
Absolutely.
The very reason the people who we call our leaders, that's why they were taken out. That's why you destroyed. That's why HRap Brown is sitting in the federal penitentiary right now, because it's a man in Vegas that said, no, he didn't do it. I did it. And HRap Brown been in the penitentiary fighting cancer for the last 8 years. With a person who is admitted to the crime. That's why Stokely Carmichael was run out of England and then later on run out of the United States of America, and even had to go into hiding after Minister Fred Hampton was assassinated here in Chicago. Bobby Rush, the same way. He had to go into hiding and had to have Jesse Jackson escort him out publicly so he wouldn't be killed. When you stand up in the United States of America and you of African descent, you will be destroyed one way or another.
Yeah.
See, people always point at this NBC thing with Bill Cosby, but look up this documentary that Bill Cosby did about American history that's on YouTube.
I saw it on your show.
Yeah, when you look at that video, they waited in the weeds for that dude, because this is the part you don't hear about the whole Bill Cosby debacle. Whether he's guilty or not, that's not my point. But he did a lot of that stuff at the Playboy Mansion. I'm gonna say that again. He did a lot of that stuff at the Playboy Mansion. Wow. So Bill Cosby wasn't alone doing this, and everybody was in on it. And it was a bunch of very rich and influential people there with Dr. Cosby. And I'm gonna stop calling him Bill Cosby. His name is Dr. Cosby. Therefore, when you got Dr. Cosby standing up for the cause and always literally hiring a psychologist to start the Cosby Show, so there would never be one negative thing shown on that show about young people of African descent. Yeah. You black, but who the hell? Like, okay, just to give you a perfect example in the sports world that is going on right now. When me and Dawk were 18 years old, Jim Brown used to go on the most popular talk show in the United States of America at that time and excoriate Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan for not standing up for the community. 30 years later, you got a young man by the name of LeBron James who's doing everything that Jim Brown said he should be doing. And everybody said that these athletes in the 80s was not doing. And he's being called a bitch. He's being told
to shut up and dribble.
Right.
Yeah, shut up and dribble. No, I'm talking about the community.
People clown LeBron, the stand-up guy.
He's a stand-up guy. He should take it the hard way. You should take a hard one. Right. That's what you should do.
So even on a smaller scale, what we are saying just on this show, what HRap says on his show every week in some way is a risk. Okay, see, that's why it's so important. See, folks, when we go try to push BS3 Network, or we go try to push Queen 3 and King, or we go try to push the Fourcast, or we go try to push the End of the Bench podcast, or we go try to push Built for This Network, people think it's self-serving. They don't understand that basically it's a microcosm of what our issues are. You push us because guess what? We got the same capability as NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, et cetera, et cetera. You push us, and that takes their power away from making us shut up. See, right now, Coke might can come to us and tell us, shut the up. Oh, we ain't gonna give you this, whatever, right? They may, so they got some power, but we got the way that we have an avenue to be able to remove that power from them. But too often when we pushing out, let me just ask y'all a real question. How many folks, when we post this stuff on Facebook about our shows and stuff, how many black folks is looking at that shit and scrolling the fuck on by?
Or just get likes.
I ain't finna go look at y'all stuff. Because they think it's us trying to build us. Come to my house. You'll see I don't need you to build shit for me.
Right.
I'm not doing this for me. If you think what I'm doing, if you think what I do on the Fourcast is for me, if you think I do what I do on Queen 3 and King is for me, if you think what I do on BS3 Network is for me, you are sadly mistaken.
Yeah,
I got me taken care of.
Remove that front room from coming to your house. That's the plan.
That's why
it ain't for me.
That's why there's
Justin on here. Ask Justin if I do what I do for me.
It ain't for my glory.
I promise you it ain't.
Hey, I can attest to that. I'm a witness to that.
Yeah. And that's why there's that post that people post sometimes where it says, I got the job, and you get 1,000 likes. You say, I started a business. People are like, oh, that's
right,
cool.
man.
That's cool.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
Like what? How much you making? Like what like I mean, like the work and effort that it puts into doing your own thing. That's when it clicked for me one day, because I was like, I want to be on radio. So I started going to all these different things. You remember 105.3 had this little thing where you can try to get on and get your weekend spot and all that.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, I'm not bashing anybody, but at some point, like, we can't keep saying, like, let's try to get the opportunity over here. Build your own thing.
We got it.
Yeah.
We already got all the capabilities, like Dawk said. Yeah. We have all the capabilities at this point. There's no reason for me to say
CBS ain't the only one putting on church on Sunday mornings. Hell, we got church on Sunday morning.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why I just like kind of like when I see when I watched what was it, True Story, and I'm looking at this setup, like, why are we having white producers around these black artists? Why are we having white public?
They letting them. Because these artists are letting them. They
like,
dealing with it.
You don't have any black.
Kevin Hart at this point, he got enough power. And this is no shade on Kevin Hart, because I told you during that show, I've changed my opinion of him and his talent and his deal. Okay, I respect his game, right? But he's got enough power to where he doesn't have to have a white producer around him if he doesn't want to. Right. He's got enough power. He's got enough capital. He's got enough cred. He's got enough, whatever enough is, to call it however he wants to, and he just chooses not to.
And even if he doesn't, Eddie Murphy, Tyler Perry, he's a hell. And I'm not bragging. I'm literally 2 or 3 phone calls away from talking to Barack Obama. I can call a friend named Justice, and me and her can call Secretary of State Jesse White. The Secretary of State Jesse White can get us on the phone with Barack Obama. So I ain't trying to hear that, man.
Right.
If you don't want to, if you doing what Dawk said you're not doing, that's because that's what you want to do. Tyler Perry has his own studio. Here's another example. Spike Lee just signed a film deal with Netflix, a creative control deal with Netflix. If all that shit ain't shot on Tyler Perry's studio, somebody needs to take a running start from wherever we are now and slap the hell out of him.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, why not? You got this big old studio lot and you're not using it.
But again, to bring on my point again, when I talked about what we're doing here and what HRap does on his show and stuff, it is a risk. Because let us mess around and be successful, I promise you they're going to come try to take some of the stuff we said on Exterminate the Brute. Some of the stuff we said on again. And let me put it like this. Do it. Please.
Right.
Please.
To quote Dr. Cosby again, you only need 1/2 of 1% of the population to follow you to be richer than you ever thought you could be. Look at what is 1/2 of 1% of 50,400,000 viewers. Imagine if Monday night we had 400,000 views. Tomorrow, Kings 3 and me, we have 400,000 viewers. Then we go to Thursday for rap sessions, 400,000 viewers. Then my man Justin had 400,000 viewers. Just imagine. Not to mention the other shows, 400,000 viewers. People would lose their freaking mind. And that's, again, I'm not trying to consistently pump up my show, but these are the things that I'm gonna talk about tomorrow. And it's time to stop talking and start doing.
Yeah, Justin. So in that situation, you got 400,000 viewers. You ain't having to ask the cops to do shit.
Yeah.
At that point, you can go backpack the whole schools if you want to. You can cause Home Depot or Lowe's or whoever with 400,000 viewers and say, hey, I need you to go every school in GISD. They need to have a ruler or whatever the case may be, right? You can go make that happen. All their school supplies, I don't want no parents paying for school supplies this year. You can make that happen with 400,000 viewers. But folks think it's about our pockets.
Right.
And I promise you, my pockets is fine. Just ask the strip clubs.
He helping them girls not pay.
Hell, I'm paying for tuition every week.
$1 at a time.
$1 at a time. Yeah. One wet dollar at a time.
Damn. It's damp. It ain't wet.
I've been there.
United Negro College, baby.
You know, I mean, literally, like I was on HRap show a couple of weeks ago, and you know, we were discussing religion at the time, and making some valid points, if I may say so myself, from a spirituality standpoint. And at the time, I said, and I'm rolling the fat one right now when we talking. Does that discredit me? Does that mean that the things that I'm saying are less than powerful or less than true? You know, so
yeah,
right.
Speaking, Charlotte, you're right. That success is here and it's coming. Shout out to my man Overton Claiborne. Thank you for tuning in. The shirt is on the way.
That boy got some white lighting over there.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Please just do it. Just ask the strip clubs. That's the line at the night.
And you know, to talk about what Justin just said again, I've literally had people to bank off what Dawk said. Like my mom, what Dawk was talking about is my mother told me my mother only knew me as Happy Silly Brian. Mm-hmm. Of course, my mom ain't never called me HRap, but she didn't know I had a mean streak in me. My mom was just as mean as my mama. She never knew, and when she figured it out, maybe about 2 months before she died, she said, "Brian, you let people get under your skin too much. Mm-hmm. The next time somebody piss you off, tell them thank you." And I'm like, huh? She said, either they'll think you too stupid to realize that they just insulted you, or they think you're going to slap the shit out of them next. Mm-hmm. And somebody insulted me, and I said, thank you. And they flinched. Mm-hmm. They literally flinched. And that's what we have to, that's the good trouble our ancestor, John Lewis, is talking about. And I literally had somebody, the reason I told that story, because I literally had someone tell me, you got a cool show for some black shit.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, man, you better go to bed because I know you got to get up and go to work tomorrow.
Right.
Shout out to Kicking It with Key C. Thank you for tuning in. Follow him.
What's up, man?
And that's why I still have people that's like, oh, you still doing BS3. I'm like, you ain't been following.
I'm doing more than doing shit.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. What's the problem?
Yeah.
You still doing your little thing. And HRap,
I've told people that.
And don't apologize, HRap, for bragging on yourself because nobody else is gonna do it.
Yeah, man,
you can't expect other people to brag on what you believe in and what you passionate about.
That's not me, Justin. That's John Lewis, our ancestor John Lewis, man. That's not me. Don't give me that one.
Yeah, that is John Lewis.
John Lewis.
You're trouble. Man, we went in tonight.
Yeah.
We went in tonight like
you
we
give
do
me
every
shit
night.
like 137 shots for you. You want me to go there? Yeah. Don't put some shit like this on my plate.
Hey, I promise y'all, the next one I review is, and I suggest it's gonna be a Disney movie. Okay, hey, I'm gonna do it right here. It's gonna be peaceful. It's gonna be happy. Let's do the Showtime documentary from my man Nasir Jones, Super MC. Let's do the Ralph McDaniels, The Box documentary.
Ralph McDaniels, The Box.
You know the video jukebox.
The box is you call in and order the music video.
Yeah, they got a documentary. Nas did it on Mass Appeal, Mass Media. Nas directed it. Look.
Wow.
Show you how the universe works full circle. Yeah. Nas come out. He the next big thing. He takes off. Ralph McDaniels. Ralph McDaniels directs. It Ain't Hard to Tell, right? Nas's debut video. 30 years later, Ralph McDaniels Nas directs the Ralph McDaniels documentary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We definitely not doing Roots. It's called Jukebox.
Hey, watch this. If we do Roots, I ain't wearing this shirt. I'm wearing this.
We're about to get the dashiki out.
Yeah, I'm finna get the dashiki out. I'm wearing this. I'm in here like this.
Wow.
You got to.
I got to wear the dashiki. That means.
We better have LeVar Burton on next week.
Reading Rainbow. Yeah.
Hey man, speaking of LeVar Burton, I'm mad because they bringing Reading Rainbow back, and I didn't see LeVar Burton name on that.
They bringing it back?
Wow.
Yep.
Really?
Well, they already didn't give him the hosting job for Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna bring Reading Rainbow back.
Yeah.
Hey, he stunk all to be damn. I love LeVar Burton too, but he that boy was garbage truck juice when he was Jeopardy guy.
On Jeopardy?
He stunk.
I didn't watch it.
He keep it funky, but that day he was musty.
Mm.
Too bad, Toby. Too bad.
Yeah. They almost cut his foot off. For real.
Yeah, man. Hurry up and get us off here. I need to go see everyone to get the calm down there.
All right, ratings. Let's get to the ratings.
Shit. I mean, really, I let somebody else go first. I ain't thinking about that right now.
Can I rate it 137? No.
That's perfect.
Whatever.
HRap.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it the same as Wilks.
Right.
137 mics.
All right.
Wow. What about you, Ben? What you on? I hadn't even, to be perfectly honest with you, I hadn't even thought about it from a quality of documentary standpoint. I was too engaged in the information.
No,
I did.
Okay, what you had?
Okay, well, I did look at it from a quality documentary standpoint, and the reason I love this documentary, because y'all know I like watching documentaries. I don't personally like documentaries because you got people like Henry Louis Gates in the background telling just enough of the story for the social structure to accept it and not getting as in-depth as it should be, so the governing structure will understand it. That's what I was talking about. We always translating. But in this one, as you guys mentioned, they allowed the victims' families to talk. They allowed the union boss to Cadillac up that damn river to let you see. You see this shit? Do you see this shit? He stood in front of the world and said, I'm going to get these dudes their jobs back. Got all 5 of their jobs back. Got Riri his job back. And the next thing you see him is Cadillacing up a fucking river, the Cuyahoga River. Like, didn't I tell you? So, that's why I gave it 137 mics.
Okay.
Charlotte says 4. It was educational but dated. Wish it came out closer to 2012. And then, Illinois.
Man, I like both them joints.
Mandingo for sure.
I'm gonna say 4 because I don't think it's 5 necessarily 5 worthy, necessarily 4.5, but I think 4 because I think I learned a lot, and it showed people who people are. We are at the point now where there's no longer, I wonder what people think. They're just gonna tell you because they got the freedom to do whatever they want. Right. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm at a 4 too when I think about it. And I talked about the radio show host being a nice touch, and I like the way that they kept changing the perspectives. You know, like they didn't do the first 15% of the show from this perspective, then the next 25% from this perspective, then the next 25 from this. They kept flipping back and forth from different perspectives as it went along. So I give it a 4. And again, I think the radio host situation was probably something like we hadn't seen
yet. Yeah. And Justin, we will be there for the Juneteenth event. City of Garland, we will definitely.
Yeah, hopefully
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, hopefully it's inside this time here, so we ain't out in that sun like we was last week.
Man, I live in Chicago. It could be hot as hell in July. I don't give a damn.
All right. Anybody else? Wilks, you got anything?
No, man. I got shit else, man.
What was in the glass tonight? I saw you finished it right at the end of the show. So.
Tequila Reposado Terramana.
Okay, straight.
Yeah,
just on the rocks. Huh?
Oh no rocks.
I'm with
Wilks. Just neat.
I'm with Wilks. I want my poison to taste like poison.
Yeah. If I'm gonna take my liver out, I'm doing it.
The long way.
Yeah. I ain't trying to put sugar and shit in it.
Don't fuck my liver up with no sugar. Mine with poison. I was drinking. my Uncle Remus now.
All
right. So next week we kind of talked about this.
No Disney.
No Disney, but we're gonna do a year in review, right?
Oh yeah, that's what. Is that next week? Or I thought we were gonna wait till we were closer to our year.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do that.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Right. Yeah. So we were gonna do what was that? February, I think.
But we still need to start promoting that and telling people to look out for the voting and all that other kind of stuff, because we got to do our nominations so we can put the votings out there.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to
tell them what it is right now. Tell them what it is right now.
So February will be the year of the forecast. So like they do
year anniversary, man.
A year,
not the year
of
February 8th, the year of the forecast. It's the year.
We can call it that. But anyway,
Justin keep coming up with these titles.
Hey, I'm the only person on the forecast ain't never seen that movie, and I can reach out and touch it.
Wow.
You have it, and you just haven't watched it.
I have never watched the movie. I got it from when my mom transitioned.
Don't worry, it's trauma porn. Don't watch it.
You told Harpo to beat me.
Yeah, don't watch it.
That's why I ain't watched this. Hey, that's why Richard Pryor
beat me. But you gotta watch it though, because it's some catchphrases and stuff in there that all black people gotta know.
I know the catchphrase.
Like who this woman?
Yeah.
what's love got to do with this? You ain't watch that.
Never gonna be right.
Right. Until you do right by me.
I mean, I know all the catchphrases. It's just I've never watched it. Hey man, and Richard Pryor had a chance to make The Color Purple. He said, "Man, I'm sick of that shit."
So February will be the 1 year anniversary of the forecast. So just like they do with the Academy Awards, we'll be doing our own award show. So we'll have a list of awards. We'll go through the films that we have reviewed, and we'll pick those awards. We'll also put out voting. It'll be out on the social media accounts. So if you have not or are not following BSU Network, make sure to do that. So that'll be February. We'll also do the kind of a year in review. I mean, we've been going strong. We probably only missed, I think, 2 weeks.
2 weeks
through this whole time. So we got a lot of content. We got a lot of stuff to review.
Most goodest actor.
Exactly. The best goodest actor, the best goodest director.
I'm literally writing down my best director nomination and my best picture nomination.
Most goodest, man. Best goodest, man.
So I sent it to the group. Swan Song. I don't know. It's not. That may be a good one. It's on Apple TV though, so you know.
Hey man, I'm telling y'all.
And I ain't for now, man. If it's on Apple TV, that's it. I ain't gonna go buy no Apple TV.
You just need the app, man. You just get the free trial. I've been trying to tell y'all this for the longest, man. Just get the free trial.
No, that's what I'm talking about. That's Justin. That's what I'm talking about, man. Saudade.
Nah, man.
That'll be the one cast.
Yeah, that'll be the one cast.
Hey, me and Pooey would grind your pity on the running can all the way down.
So we can do the jukebox then.
Yeah, man. Ralph McDaniel, man. It's super dope, too.
Man. Yeah, you call and your video may take forever.
What is it on?
Showtime.
Okay, send it. Check it to us to our messenger deal, so we'll have it on there, please.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but
Nas, yeah, man.
Yeah,
just wrote down my best score too. Nomination.
Nas dropped a surprise album on Friday too.
So he dropped 2 already?
No, he dropped. This one's it's called Magic, but he coming out with King's Disease 3 too. Whenever,
he dropped 2
probably next year. All right, what's coming up tomorrow on End of the Bench? You kind of already been talking about it, but
yeah, the End of the Bench. It's gonna be a repackaging of my entire brand, the End of the Bench brand. Build and Destroy is Tuesday. I'm gonna talk about why I stopped doing sports. A lot of people, man, I miss you doing sports. Well, you better go back to some of them old shows and just plug in new teams. I'm gonna talk about
play the old tapes.
Yeah, play the old tapes because it's not gonna happen. Talk about how I threw out a couple of new nicknames like college sports and how they exploiting people, and how Deion Sanders he's not doing anything new. He's just breathing life back into something old, because the greatest pass rusher in the history of the world, David Deacon Jones, HBCU. The greatest running back in the history of the world, arguably, Walter Payton, HBCU. The award, the Division II or FBS, the FBS Player of the Year, or their Heisman, is the Jerry Rice Award, who is arguably the greatest wide receiver in the world. I mean, John Starworth. And it's this dude I'm gonna highlight at the I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna highlight it at the top of the show or at the bottom of the show. His name is Eldridge Dickey. Eldridge Dickey was insanely accurate with both hands 60 yards down the field.
Wow.
He is arguably the greatest quarterback ever drafted from the HBCU sector, and most of us don't know who he is. He ended up being a pastor. His coach was Jefferson Street Joe's dad. Jefferson, he was at Tennessee State, and after doing some research, my Raider Nation people gonna be mad at me, but Clan adjacent Al Davis ruined this dude because they had Dale LaMonica, they had Snake, and he drafted this dude to keep him away from the Kansas City Chiefs. And allegedly, Hank Stram, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, was going to start this brother. And see, and another thing, people don't realize the power of HBCUs. You remember before the merge in 1966, the 1960s, a new league emerged, and it was the AFL, right? That league was chock filled with HBCU players, and it was filled with so many HBCU players. The NFL had to bow down because they knew what time it was. So I'll talk about that. I'll talk about 10-step plan, and I'm talking about be mindful of your history. I'm talking about basically I'm gonna recap a lot of my shows over the last 52 weeks, and I'm gonna do it in about, hopefully I'll do it in about an hour. And how to remove low vibrating people from your spectrum. If these people, like, you still doing BS3, huh? I am.
I am. Quite well.
And I'm gonna delete your number from my phone because I don't want. And I got an iPhone, so if you're not saved in my phone, I don't have to block you. It's just gonna not let you through because you don't need these people. Like it's this video on I don't know if it's TikTok or Instagram. I'm addicted to TikTok. Some of the funniest stuff in the history of the world is on TikTok. But it's this brother. Somebody walked up to him. He said, "Man, I see you got your little business." He said, "Yeah. How your little job doing?" And that you still got to ask people to take the day off from.
Wow.
So those people, we need to get them the entire hell away from us. So as long as we getting those people away from us as a community, it is family, it is tribe, it is a community, it is culture. That's the only way we're gonna get up out of this nonsense. I'm gonna have a clip on my main man, Stokely Carmichael. I got a clip. Eldridge Dickey, and y'all ready for this? His nickname is the Lord's Prayer. That's how good he is, because Jefferson Street Joe Sr. said this dude was a prayer from God answered. That's how good he was.
That's strong.
Wow.
So, I put like a 3-minute video. I don't know if I'm gonna do it in the top or the middle of the show. I got my man Stokely Carmichael talking about organization, and we're gonna get it cracking tomorrow. And I want to announce these 2 new shows. I'm doing, I don't know what day I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this show called Rapping with HRap, and that show is talking to people about their journey. And then I'm gonna do a show on Saturday. It's gonna be what the hell did I say I was gonna call it? It's gonna be about hip hop, man.
That's a great title.
What
the hell am I calling it?
For the listeners. Saturday is gonna be for the listeners. It's all hip hop, and this tie. And the reason I'm saying that because it does tie into the rebranding, because I can't control sports, but just imagine, the algorithm. The entire universe is built on algorithms these days, and so if we can change the algorithm, just imagine if Dawk put out an album, I get 5,000 subscribers to my hip hop show. If Dawk put out an album, and those 5,000 people stream it on Tidal, stream it on Apple Music, and stream it on Spotify. And we do it twice a week. We talking about 30,000 spins. That puts Dawk immediately in the top 100. People who never heard of Dawk, who is this Dawk dude? And they play his music. Now Dawk will be opening for somebody. Even if he doesn't go platinum, he's going to be opening for KRS-One. He's going to be opening for Jay-Z. He's going to be opening for somebody, which gives him way more exposure, and that makes Dawk a better MC, a more exposed MC, putting out quality music like our boy Toby down there in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. I can't control Al Davis drafting arguably the greatest black quarterback in the history of NCAA, and then making him a wide receiver. And he quitting football before the Raiders win their first Super Bowl. But I can control hip hop, which is my all-time favorite thing to talk about, listening to, and whatever. I still own shell toe sneakers. I still own suede Pumas, and I'm in the car by myself. I'm listening to hip hop music. So that's my deal. That's my get down. That's my culture. And as Wilks said in the pre-show, that's how I get down. That's my deal. I am the reason hip hop is possible.
Yeah.
And you take that in. I ain't gonna if I got to explain it to you, then you don't need to be listening to me. But I made hip hop popular. Michael Jordan did. If Nike and Michael Jordan didn't do a damn thing for sneakers, I did that. I argued with my mama, and I set my ass out on the curb when she sent me out of the house in loafers. I sat on the curb and changed into my sneakers. Yeah. I did that. Froze my goddamn feet off my ankles almost. But hey, because it snowed a foot of snow that day. But hey, I did that. Michael Jordan's damn feet ain't never been cold because the damn snow was over his gym shoes. So.
Right.
All right. And there's no Queen 3 and King tomorrow. However, I want to take the time to announce a new show to BS3 Network, and that is Marriage is Real, with Damian Johnson and Jamie Johnson. They've been doing this for a while. They've had such heavy hitter guests as Dondre Whitfield on their show. They are, and just like we do at BS3, we talk about the shows that we sign, and they have one common thread, and that's that they are good people. We sign good people before we determine whether you're talented, before we determine you got mass appeal, before we determine anything, we determine if you're good people or not. And these individuals are good people. And so Marriage is Real added on to the network. We still are going to be working out their days and times and stuff like that, but look for them soon on Roku TV and all BS3 network stuff. Jamie and Damian Johnson. I still don't know how Damian got Jamie, but he got it. So fortunately, he's they're teaching together. So glad to have him.
Yeah, welcome to them. Great to have them, man. We are building.
Yeah, strong team, man.
Strong team with a variety of different shows. So yeah, we and
Macedonian Ministries hit Sunday for their first episode, which his sermon was "Can We Talk?" and very timely with this Tevin Campbell challenge and whatnot. And
I was in the building too. It was definitely.
Yeah, and Derek Smith is gonna bring it every week. So we got some strong stuff, man, on BS3, man.
If you got a night service, we ready for you. we need an afternoon service and a night service. So we ready. We're ready. We're ready for y'all.
With that being said, I'm gonna have a Bible study on Built for This Network. So,
I heard that.
Let's go.
What about Monday?
Not me. I'm not gonna conduct it.
I wouldn't.
You go to hell. Listen to me.
Ben, what about Monday's good? Huh?
No.
Nah, man.
We ain't doing that. We got Man Talk Mondays on us.
I love it.
But so the first episode of the Fourcast, real quick, was January 25th. Okay. That was when we did one night in Miami.
Okay. We weren't the Forecast then.
We weren't the Forecast. We were just four guys talking about a movie. So
we were just four Negroes talking.
We was a ragtag group of motley crew at the time.
Yeah, one of us lived in Plano. The other one lived in Rich. He was living in Richardson, I think.
Yeah,
now three of us in 40.
All three of us in there.
Now one is getting closer to 40.
Yeah.
About a minute. But all right, HRap, close us out.
Y'all already know. Salute to Reggie O'Shea, rest in peace, aka Combat Jack. The reason I salute him is because he inspired me and millions of other people to do podcasts by saying, dream your dreams and man up and woman up and live your dreams. Because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technical surround sound. Do what you got to do to make you happy. Something else I'm talking about tomorrow. As well as salute to Craig Smith, because thank you guys for tuning in. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Do us a favor. If you enjoyed the show tonight, tell a friend to come next Monday. As they say in church. Look over and say, neighbor. No, it's neighbor, come to the show next week. No, but tell a friend to come check us out next week. We killing it. Man, now, this is for, and anytime somebody tells you black people can't work together, they in Texas, I'm in Chicago, they on BS3, I'm on my network, and we working together, supporting each other at all times. So if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Peace. Thank y'all for tuning in.